after discussing the process of diffusion and osmosis, let's discuss osmotic pressure. Well, osmotic pressure is the mechanical pressure that must be applied on a solution to prevent the passage of solvent in the solution through a semi-permeable membrane. Means the pressure that we are going to apply on the solution so that there is no movement of solute particles, right. So, this is how you will define the osmotic pressure. But how you are going to better understand osmotic pressure is, let's demonstrate this by an activity. Well, in this activity, what do you need? You need a thistle funnel. This is a thistle funnel, and you are going to put a semi-permeable membrane that we have taken in the form of parchment paper, right. You are going to put it here, and in this thistle funnel, you are going to put hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution, for example, you can take sucrose, that is sugar solution, right. You take sucrose, that is sugar solution. Then in the beaker, you will be taking hypotonic solution, that is, for example, say water, right. So, I will also tell you again what is hypertonic solution and what is hypotonic solution, what is the difference between the two on the basis of osmotic pressure, right. So, you are going to take a thistle funnel, take a beaker, in the beaker put hypotonic solution, that is we have put water, and in the thistle funnel put hypertonic solution, that is we have put sucrose, that is sugar solution. Now, we have inserted a piston which is going to move upward and downward, right. We have inserted a piston. Now, what is going to happen? In this case, you will see after some time, because we have put this parchment paper which is acting as a semi-permeable membrane, due to which osmosis is going to take place, You already know what is osmosis. It is the movement of water molecules from the region of their high concentration to the region of their lower concentration. Means from a dilute solution to a concentrated solution. The movement of water from a dilute solution to a concentrated solution. So, here in the beaker we have water. So, it's purely water, definitely it is going to be a dilute solution. And in this thistle funnel we have sucrose, that is we have added sugar into water. So, this is now a concentrated solution, means in this case the water molecules are going to be less as compared to the water molecules that are going to be there in the beaker. So, according to the osmosis process, there will be the movement of water molecules that are there in the beaker into the thistle funnel, and we have a semi-permeable membrane. So, we are going to call this process as osmosis, namely endosmosis is going to take place, means the water is going to enter from the beaker into the thistle funnel. When the water is going to enter into the thistle funnel, this piston is going to rise upwards. So, this proves that endosmosis is taking place, means the water is moving from the beaker into the thistle funnel. So, it is a proof of that, the movement of the piston upwards, right. Now, put some weights, put some additional weights. After putting additional weights, what is going to happen? There will be no movement of piston now. The piston will not move now. So, this is how we can demonstrate the osmotic pressure, means the mechanical pressure that must be applied on a solution to prevent the passage of solvent in the solution through a semi-permeable membrane. Now, I hope that the definition we have discussed in the beginning is clear to you by the demonstration through this experiment or this activity, right. So, you can see that when we put some additional weight, the piston is not going to move. So, this is how we are defining osmotic pressure, right. Now, osmotic pressure is actually the pressure that is exerted by the solute particles, right. So, when we have put the additional weight, since the solute particles, they are in motion, they are moving, they possess kinetic energy. So, when we have put in additional weight, they are going to arrange themselves in the available space, and in turn they are going to exert pressure, and that pressure we are calling as osmotic pressure. So, osmotic pressure is the pressure which is basically related to the solute particles. Now, I told you that we will be discussing hypertonic solution and hypertonic solution on the basis of osmotic pressure. Now, what is a hypertonic solution? A hypertonic solution is the solution which has higher osmotic pressure. What do it has? It has higher osmotic pressure, means the solute particles are more in number, means it is a concentrated solution. Hypertonic solution is what? It is a solution which has higher osmotic pressure. It has high concentration of the solute particles, means in case of sucrose solution, obviously we have put water, right. So, but there is a presence of additional solute particles in the form of sugar. So, it is more concentrated. Then if we talk about a hypotonic solution is the solution which has lower osmotic pressure and it is more dilute solution. It is a dilute solution. So, as a whole, in this case, if we define osmosis in terms of osmotic pressure, then we are saying that osmosis is the movement of water from the region of lower osmotic pressure to a region of higher osmotic pressure. How? You can see that here we have a hypertonic solution, which means we are talking about low osmotic pressure, and in this Thistle funnel we had hypertonic solution, means the solution which is at higher osmotic pressure. So, there was a movement of water molecules from the beaker into Thistle funnel, means from lower osmotic pressure to higher osmotic pressure. You can also say that there is movement of water from a dilute solution to a concentrated solution. The movement of water is there from the dilute solution to a concentrated solution. So, this osmotic pressure is actually directly proportional to the concentration of solution, means greater the solute particles, greater is going to be the osmotic pressure. Since this hypertonic solution contains more number of solute particles, means the osmotic pressure is more in the Thistle funnel, and in this beaker the solute particles are not, we have simply taken pure water. It means that the osmotic pressure is going to be low. So, just remember the common funda that osmotic pressure is directly proportional to the concentration of solution, means more concentrated the solution, more is going to be the osmotic pressure, right. So, we have also discussed hypertonic solution, means the solution which is at higher osmotic pressure, means which is more concentrated, and hypertonic solution which is at lower osmotic pressure, which is more dilute, you can say, right. And we also have one more term, that is isotonic. Isotonic means when the solution is actually at the same osmotic pressure, means when you talk about the external environment and the internal environment, both of them they have the same osmotic pressure. So, there will be no net movement of the solute particles or no net movement of water, right. So, that is a isotonic solution. Now, you have a fair idea about the movement of solvent molecules which takes place from a region of lower osmotic pressure, means from a dilute solution to a region of higher osmotic pressure, means to concentrated solution. So, this is how you will demonstrate osmotic pressure, means the mechanical pressure that must be applied on a solution to prevent the passage of solvent in the solution through a semi-permeable membrane. So, I hope you will be able to define osmotic pressure, you will be able to demonstrate this with the help of this activity, and you now know that osmotic pressure is directly proportional to the concentration of the solution. More concentrated the solution, more is going to be the osmotic pressure.